You want me to start the intro or?
Yeah,
Okay.
start it.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Well, again, as you can see, me and my boy, we got locked up here in the insane asylum because we're just fucking loco, crazy. For those of you who don't understand Espanol, but as you can see, me and my boy, you can think that we're in a fucking green screen or we're actually in an insane asylum, but we're gonna let you figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
But as you can tell, my boy here, the white rhino, and no magic tricks today. We're actually. This is
Yep.
my hand on his
We are-
shoulder.
yeah, we are live in person in an asylum.
Exactly, straight from it. We had to rent one out. Cost a
Gotham
couple
City.
G's. Gotham City, yeah, for real. But welcome to another brand new episode of Beyond Expedition Podcast with your two most favorite co-hosts, my boy Brett, the White Rhino, and me, Eduardo. So, special day today. Today is a special episode, I guess you can say. It's my boys. How does that saying go? It's another turn around the sun, or another. What's that name?
Could be something like that,
But definitely no.
Been a lot.
We're celebrating life. That's what it is about. We're here. We're thankful. My boy's here, and it's just we're gonna do the damn thing and sipping a little sun. So let the people know, man, what we're gonna sip on today. I mean, just give them a nice little preview.
Yo, the dog himself. Thank you for the gift, by the way.
For sure.
Dog himself bought Deathrow Records. He had a deal with what was that wine company? 13 Criminals or something.
I don't
like that?
know, to be honest. I don't know the history behind it.
So
but I will go with that.
They signed up, and we about 3 minutes ago just popped open a bottle of Deathrow Records red wine, and it says limited edition. So rumor has it this is Suge Knight's blood.
Oh shit. Sangre.
Put me in the crosshairs, not him. So we got a couple glasses. Shout out to Scott. We've got the Catalina wine mixer.
Shout out Scott. We're gonna have him on the episode, right? Future episode.
We're gonna put him in there.
Okay, we're never gonna have him on a future episode. He's actually been on one. Go check it out for all past previous content, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we're everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check it out. We have an
Since
episode
you're
with them.
driving, we're just gonna.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, the sound of that sounds pretty lethal.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to drink all that.
Just top it off all the way to the top.
That was the goal, but
No, I'll slip on it slowly.
So
Okay.
yeah, we'll get a little bit of red wine. You're looking at it now. We don't know if this is going to be good or not. We don't know what we're stepping into, but
it looks good. I mean, right off bat, from what I look at it, it looks pretty good. So, I mean, I guess you can say this is a review of the Deathrow wine from Snoop Dogg's. Is it his wine company, or is it just a collaborative? Thing?
This is Deathrow Records wine,
Red
and
wine.
it is his, but it is a partnership with let's see, 2020 Paso Robles red wine, vinted and bottled by Deathrow Records, Sonoma, California.
Okay. So let's do cheers, man. Again, another year for you, brother. We're it's just let's be happy that another year gone by, and plenty more. We'll be potting until the end. So this is from my boy right here, and let's take a little sip and see what it's all about. What do you think?
Better than I thought it was going to be, actually.
You think so?
I thought it was going to be bad.
It's smooth. It's smooth.
Yeah. When I do drink wine, I do drink red wine. And so this is definitely like right along the roads with my Merlots and my Cabernet Sauvignon.
Damn, you're fancy with it. I'm not really much of a wine drinker myself. Maybe for the special occasion like today, of course. But it's smooth. It's not bad, actually. It's not that bad.
No,
it's pretty good.
I'll be honest with you. When I saw that Snoop was marketing this Deathrow wine, right? I was like, wait a minute. The guy that's made a whole career off of smoking weed is taking a U-turn on us at the golf club and marketing wine.
Yeah, straight up.
So, I think he's just been hanging out with Martha Stewart. So I think Martha Stewart is really the name behind the bottle here.
The motivation.
Got to be Martha when he was doing time. When she was doing time, I know the dog called her and he was like, yo, hey, what's up? And then that's when she turned it around and said, well, Snoop, I know what you're doing with marijuana, and I think that's great, but have you ever thought of marketing wine? You're in California. you know, and he was like,
yeah, straight up. They have a
hey,
lot of
yo,
vineyards over
for
there
real.
No, not bad, not bad. I must say I'm pretty. I didn't think it was gonna be all that great because it's like a hit or miss with a lot of these, just whatever brands they put out, right? Like if they try to go to different ventures and all that.
Yep.
Because I mean, Deathrow Records was Deathrow Records music wise. You know, it's like more of like a like everybody knew who they were back in '96. But like you try to put that with wine. I don't know. It just doesn't go hand in hand. Personally, that's just my opinion. But no, not bad. I give it. What would you score it out of 10?
No, I have a better way of scoring.
Okay, let's go.
If you were to compare this to a Deathrow album,
okay,
which album would you rank this? So so the bottom would probably have to be what? Lady of Rage, Necessary Roughness, which was a great album. By the way, when we were ranking these albums, Lady of Rage is still better than most of the music that a lot of people. So like out of that catalog, Deathrow only put out solid albums. So
yes.
So when we have a bottom, it's just because literally that's all we have to choose from, but they're all great. So it's even the lowest rating could have been a low rating, a high rating. So anyway, so Lady of Rage being the bottom.
Okay.
We'll go mid-line being Dog Pound Dog Food, which
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
Right?
I was gonna say that.
And then top one, you have to go All Eyes on Me
or Chronic.
I mean, out of respect, we probably should do Doggy Style. Yeah, Chronic,
Doggy Style. I think those are like those are tier though. Like when you say those three, they're fucking up there.
Those three are the same. Yeah. In fact, those three are 10s, right? Chronic, All Eyes on Me, Doggy Style. Those are the thing. You could go Dogfather as just maybe above Necessary Roughness and in between Dog Food. And then we need something else. Oh, Daz Dillinger, he put out something too.
Yeah. Did it Corrupt too as well, or like did he do like Saw?
Corrupt. That needs to be the bottom.
We still love you, Corrupt. We still love you.
He's my favorite. Yeah. He's my favorite Deathrow MC.
Okay.
I cannot get enough of Corrupt, but unfortunately with his Deathrow solo tip, I think there was just a lot of pressure and all that stuff behind it. But anyway, so with all that being the rating system, where are you gonna put this?
I say the Dog Pound Dog Food album. Honestly, like because I actually thought about that when you were talking about let's rate these albums. I would go with that.
I would actually
really
came out with the same
exact. Okay. Yep. So there you go. There's a little review about the Deathrow wine. I mean, I think it's limited, so I don't think it's on sale anymore. And I mean,
well, few more bottles left at the time of this.
Oh shit, really?
Recording, but they're getting to the end of it.
It just shows you, like, let's just talk about that, right? And let's just talk about the fact that I mean we've touched bases a little bit in regards to Snoop buying out Deathrow. I don't even know the number that they put out there, how much it would cost them, but like let's put it into perspective, right? Snoop left Deathrow Records, I wouldn't say in the best possible scenario. Like I think Master P helped Snoop buy himself out of Deathrow, and Suge Knight kind of pretty much said, fuck it, give it to him, whatever, we're done. He's no longer part of Deathrow Records. Fast forward time, he bought the whole record label out where he grew like his fame. Like the Dog Style album till this day is probably like one of the ones that I still go back and listen to. But it's like to think that he bought it and now he owns it and he owns his masters, all that.
I don't think he owns the masters.
I don't think he owns masters.
Doggy Style, Chronic, anything Tupac.
Not Tupac. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I mean, because I didn't see it on streaming platforms too. That's what's crazy about it. I haven't seen it on there yet because I was actually wanting to listen to some old school Snoop Dogg not too long ago, and I can't even find it. So I don't know where that's at. I think maybe he's trying to like figure out the ins and outs on that to see how he can get that back because it's a classic album.
Yeah.
Classic
yeah.
That's
in fact
the one.
That album. I was telling you about that Snoop one. How I got that extra one with next episode.
Yes.
On that, I should break that out now that you're at the White House.
The White House, yeah. But yes, so yeah, man, not too bad. Again, it's pretty good, pretty good, not bad, and it's a limited edition, like my boy said. So we'll definitely. I have another bottle myself that he gifted me. He was too generous to buy me one for myself. We'll have to crack that one up on a little milestone.
No fun. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none,
as they said, right? So we're gonna crack that one open for a special occasion, and yeah, we'll do the damn thing. But I mean, brother, other than that, man, I mean, before we start an episode, man, how are you doing today? I don't think we started off like we usually do, So
yeah, well, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Okay.
So I need a rest. But you know what? I mean, the thing about being a fire breather, you just keep going in, you keep digging in, and you keep fighting, and then you don't rest until the fight's over.
Yeah,
So
that's all you can do.
you know,
Check
but
a check.
that's why I just have this what do they call that? A midlife crisis where I just give myself a haircut. You know? Like I just last night I just got the shear and I'm like, you know what? I haven't ever had a midlife crisis. And so I just decided to break out the shears and like,
I would want our
look at the back
homegirl.
though.
but honestly, when I looked at it, like when I looked at you face front,
Yeah.
it looked like it was even. I mean, even seeing it here on the screen as we're recording this.
Is it not even?
No, it's even. It's even.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
It's even. I think that's like one of the hardest things to really kind of pinpoint down when you're giving yourself a haircut. Actually, I want to ask this now. What do you think for Brad giving his own haircut? People, how can you rate it? Especially our homegirl Milka. Shout out Tribute Barber. How would you rate this self haircut right here as you see it? I mean, out of 10, just see how it is. Maybe he can become a barber himself. I mean, didn't you just say that you or am I tripping? Like last time, was this the first time you actually cut your own hair, or
it was the second time?
Second time. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, the first time you went bald. That was definitely another midlife crisis, like you say. But you did a hot one. You did it where like you left hair on the sides.
Yeah, and it was like I wanted to look like I was going bald, like pattern baldness.
Yeah. Oh my god, but not bad, man. Not bad.
Yeah,
I would say
good. I'll tell you what. You'd think that the hardest part is like staying even on there. It ain't that bad. It's getting around the back that gets hard, right? It's staying even. Like you got the one mirror over there, and then you're trying to you're like, oh god, and you're just like moving everything around.
No, I feel it. Well, it's I don't know if you know this. I mean, you probably heard of it, but they actually sell self-cutting systems so you can cut your own hair. Where they sell like the mirror and then like an instruction manual or videos on how to do it yourself. So I mean, people do that. I mean, I think people that are barbers, I'm sure they're good at cutting their own hair, but like a regular Joe Schmo, they can go ahead and do that if they wanted to or so please. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like it's not being done.
I'd love to see that because I did it without that, and I was just like. I mean, you got to work that mirror in certain angles, and the best way to do it is when you've had at least one beer in you, like a strong beer,
so you can feel
because
confident.
then you just don't care. Yeah, you're just like, if I messed up or whatever, and I wear hats a lot, so I knew that if I messed up, but I did like the laughter that you did when I opened the door and you saw my hair. It was just straight laughter. So I'm like, yep, I did it right.
It just caught me off guard because it's like a fresh thing. I honestly thought you probably got yourself like an actual haircut. So I'm like, dang, you're doing after a new style. And then I was like, what did I say? It looks like you want to put a ponytail on it.
I do.
Oh, okay.
So like, have you ever watched Vikings Valhalla?
Vikings Valhalla? No, I haven't.
It's on Netflix. And the guy that I was after was King Canute from England, and he like has both of his head shaved and then ponytail, so his hair is like long.
Dude, I can see you doing that. I can see you growing your hair out and having like just like a ponytail, like in the middle, your hair out, and then ponytail just all the way back. That
like a man bun.
But it's actually a ponytail.
I want to do a video, like a skit where we're talking about like toxic masculinity and then just showing the world like, no, we're not letting toxic masculinity or masculinity hit us or kill us or hurt us or impact us. What we're doing, we're combating that, and then have my beard straightener have that going out, and then show the man bun when I can grow my hair in a man bun, and then blow dry the hair, so like here you're doing your hair and you're blow drying it, all these things that they say that you shouldn't do as a man. And then at the very end of the skit, I'm like drinking my beer, and then I asked my daughter for a straw. Put the straw in my beer.
Oh, talk about a twisted turn of events, man. Definitely. But yeah, man, no, I can see you pulling it off. I mean, that's for sure. I even said like ponytail on you knock it out of the wind, man. Straight up. But yeah, man, I mean, dude, it's as we're recording this, it's on Saturday, but when this release, of course, it's gonna be a Friday. And also so okay, right off rip, right? Because we I want to say we didn't come prepared, but we are prepared, right? So for whatever comes, we're gonna give it to you, right? So there's a lot more talk about UAPs now, which is crazy. Like it's becoming like the it topic now. Even before, like, it would kind of come up vaguely, but now it's becoming much more of a thing where it's like the hot topic of the day. And it's kind of crazy to me where this almost seems so reminiscent to when UFOs came up in the mix, and that was like the thing, right? UFOs. Now UFOs is kind of being overshadowed by the term UAPs. Like, it's kind of tripping me out, thinking like, is UFO the term going to be kind of like washed out, and then UAP is going to be like the new thing where they're going to refer to extraterrestrials? Like, it's crazy. And then also, I didn't know, but 200 mil will get you a ticket to the moon and back.
Wow. No, I didn't know that. But, I'll stay on your point on the UFOs, UAPs. So I think that UFOs has always been traditionally used when you're talking about extraterrestrials.
Yes.
UAPs is more of like, it's almost like the community has just agreed that there probably is technology on Earth, terrestrial, that is making these things. And so if they can't, they're realizing, with the Space Force and all that, that there are a number of aerial projects or things going up in our skies that they cannot identify. So they're like, well, let's, they're going to think that we're referring to aliens if we call them UFOs. So we might as well just change the name to get people used to the idea that there's going to be a lot of unidentified objects in the air here pretty soon, because it looks like everybody's on the come up now.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also, man, I had something in my mind that I was gonna actually.
Were you like Pete Buttigieg and lost your train of thoughts?
So okay, let's refer to that, right? So, no, actually, okay, this is what I wanted to bring up. You sent me a video. This is before I actually got to the White House here, before we got into the insane asylum. Fill us in and let the people know. So there's this gentleman you sent me a video of within the Twitter webs about this dust that has been dropped by these planes. And if I can remember correctly, Wisconsin? Is it Wisconsin?
No, it was Virginia.
Virginia. I'm way out. It's the wine. I'm telling you right now, it's the wine, people.
The vino, people.
The vino. So
wow, yippee-yo, yippee-yay.
Virginia, right?
Yep.
Okay, Virginia. So this gentleman was saying that there was these planes or something dropping white powder all over just people's property, and it was just unexpectedly, and they do not know what's going on. Now, refer back to an episode we discussed this about drones and how they're going to use it for just potential attacks, future attacks, and all that. And one of the things we've discussed is that, I mean, I don't want to say if this is more on the conspiratorial side, but they were discussing how these things could be used not only for bombs themselves, but what if they were to drop lethal doses? For example, like I was talking to my boy, like they could legitimately put lethal doses amount of fentanyl on these things and just drop it. And
that's scary.
We can all, I mean, everybody can know that even the smallest dosage of that, or even the smallest smell or scent, could put you in cardiac arrest or just all in all kill you. So this stuff is pretty deadly. So they don't know what this is, and this happened. I don't remember correctly when this exactly took place, but this was as recent 2 days ago. So any more on that? Like, have you read it more into that? Because I just saw the video what you sent me, and that was that. But it's really interesting because with all this stuff going around with these seeing like these balloons, and then people now all of a sudden putting like stuff on the internet in regards to like they're seeing all these just unidentified flying objects. It's just crazy. This is happening. It's like I said, the wave of the month, or the flavor of the month, or whatever you want to say it. It's happening more consistently.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you've got all this bad stuff happening all at once. Your mind can't help but go right to the worst part. Right. The worst part being that there's a foreign entity that is dropping powder on us, anthrax, fentanyl, whatever, with a private airplane. We all know that the 9/11 hijacker is trained on private airplanes. So private airplanes can't be that hard to learn.
You want to try one? You want to try flying an airplane?
I mean, no.
What does this do?
How come this doesn't have a stick shift? You even know how to drive a stick shift? No, I don't, but I thought a plane would have one.
But yes, you're right. You were saying the lines of like to them, through the basic training, they managed to fly this commercial airplane, right? Which is crazy. Like,
no, they didn't learn how to drive.
Oh, they didn't learn
a commercial airplane.
Okay.
But they just figured out how to aim it. That's all they knew. They had to learn. All they had to learn was how to how to steer it. That's all they had to learn.
Oh, okay. I was saying because yes, there's
if
already
you remember.
Yeah. No, you're right though. But you're right. You have to think about how it happened. They were in the sky. It was already en route to wherever it was going. All they had to do was maneuver this plane, and it just did what it did. And it's crazy. But you're right, man. It's yes, but all in all, man, it's scary to think though, right? With referring back to the main topic about this substance that's being dropped everywhere in certain parts of Virginia, it's pretty scary, man, because you don't know what this stuff is, and I think they're investigating to try to figure out what it is. And so far, I haven't looked at more into it after that. But
so after I sent that video, I was digging into it a little bit.
Okay,
and so it could be that it had nothing to do with the plane dropping anything.
Okay.
So what a number of reports are saying is that it could have been like a dust storm that got carried all the way up to Virginia. So as we know, our climate is changing because of all the cow farts, and and so now, but it's funny, with the climate change thing, they were showing this the Super Bowl, and they said 220 private jets flew in and out of Arizona. That Arizona was where the Super Bowl's held.
Yes.
Yeah.
This year. Yeah,
so they said that 220 private jets, and I was just thinking, how many cow farts does that take to get even to that much? It's like, why are you blaming my hamburgers when all of you could have easily fit in one Boeing 777 jet and just flew in there together?
No.
But no, you had to ruin your carbon credits and had to step into my zone and start tapping into my hamburgers.
Yeah, I mean it's hypocritical, right? Like people that are for
rules for thee and not for me.
Oh, that's a bar. Is that off top?
No, that's a saying in our right-wing circles.
Okay. No, I mean, it makes sense. It's like, it only applies to those, not for me though. Like I can do whatever I want. If I have this private jet, I can go in and out wherever I please, whenever I please, right? So crazy. It's also crazy too that it's a snowing in some parts of California, right?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, that is wild to me, dude.
They need it.
Yeah, with the drought that's going on, right?
Maybe,
the lakes are being dried.
Maybe send some of those homeless a little bit down south, a little bit further. Keep going. I think
it's just trippy though, right? Like it's when that year that Texas had that
ice storm.
The ice, dude, that was crazy.
I went there when I went to San Antonio earlier last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Uber driver was just talking about that and about how mad he was about the infrastructure down there, how the turbines all broke and everything, and yeah, he was pretty upset. He must have been someone that lost his power.
You're all probably like, it doesn't happen in Washington for us.
Yeah, me being the redneck that I am, I'm like, miss that firewood energy, don't you? I remember chopping wood, going, why am I doing this? I hate this,
dude. Yeah, it's the old tricks of the trade, right?
You've done it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would help even when I didn't want to. My dad's like, hey, let's go chop some wood for our little fireplace that we have in our trailer, which is crazy, right?
Yep, mine too.
But it's dude, it did wonders. I mean, it did what it did, and it was perfect. Like nothing beats heat coming from just like a chimney with, dude, different type of heat. Like you literally just get so cozy. It's crazy. Nothing like this electrical shit. It's by far subpar by that, but it's the truth. I'll tell you that.
Oh, so, yeah. I remember, just that firewood in our single wide trailer.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like starting to doze off.
Oh, dude.
Me and my little hot cocoa watching Conan O'Brien.
No, yeah, can't beat it. I do have one question for you though, in relations to just because, like I said, we're celebrating another year of life for you. There is someone that wanted to ask me, do you remember the year or your 21st birthday? Did you do anything crazy when you turned 21, or were you? I mean, I'm sure you're probably sipping back on some cold ones even before that, but to know that when you legally turned 21, did you do anything crazy?
Nothing crazier than I normally did anyway. I mean, it was just now I could legally drink.
Yeah.
You know what? We probably went to a number of bars. My boy Justin, my best friend, my brother, growing up, he always did me solid, but I turned 21 before he did. So I don't know if he was a part of that. I don't know. I don't. It was a lot of decades ago.
And that was a while ago for me to think like my 21st birthday. Holy moly!
Yeah.
That was
What
like a minute
about? I
ago.
don't. Do you remember your 21st?
I do. I went to it was funny. We went to downtown Seattle because that was like the thing, right?
Yeah.
2021, go to down to Seattle. And
You're already moving here.
I was already living here. I was
Okay.
already here at the time, and we went to a club. It was like a club within a club. It was the weirdest thing. And I'm not really much of a clubbing guy to begin with, but we went there, and it was tripping me out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is this the club or is this the club? Because I was trying to figure it out.
Wow.
But it was like two clubs in one. It was the weirdest thing. And I remember my cousin at the time. You probably know him. I think you probably know him.
At the time, he's not your cousin
No,
anymore.
no, he is my cousin. So, it's the wine. It's the wine talking. It's the wine talking. No, but my cousin Freddie.
We decided one day not to be cousins.
It's off and on. Light switch off and on. No, but he was all dressed up like in this like this suit.
Yes.
I'm like,
yes.
what the fuck is that? And somebody told me like, yo, he looks like a lawyer. So ever since then, like the whole night, I started calling my lawyer. Like I got my lawyer with me just in case I get some bullshit.
That's
you know? So
hilarious.
But it was funny because he literally pulled apart. But I mean, yeah, we got pretty drunk there. It wasn't anything too crazy, but that was like the thing that I did on my 21st, just to be able to be like getting a drink for myself and all that. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't too crazy. No?
We didn't have those options in Montana clubs.
Maybe a saloon.
I remember that. Yes, you fucking prick. Sorry, you can delete that. I know we're not. Yeah. So, no, there was this place that we had. It was like this little dance place or whatever called Scotty's. And eventually they closed it down and turned it into a steakhouse. But back in my heyday, it was still like a club. And so it was between Fat Boys and Scotty's.
Fat Boys.
Fat Boys was cool. It was like a sports bar during the day, but then at night, man, they turned it up. I remember one time the girl that took my virginity. She here I am. I'm 21. I'm at Fat Boys, and I see her. She's running toward me. Brett, I took your virginity. I mean, just yelling at everybody. And here I am. I'm 21. I'm like, that was yesterday.
Oh man.
No, it's
a reminiscent.
I'm just like, man, that was like in high school. What are you like? why are you remembering this, and why are you bringing it to my attention
at
right
the wrong
now?
time, my friend? I'll tell you that. Man, that's crazy. But in speaking of sports, did you hear? So this is what's crazy to me, right? Seahawks fan, right? Went around the season time, right? If we're doing good and all that, right?
Yeah.
So there was a leak, or somebody had said that Russell Wilson, in order for him to stay in Seattle, and here at the Beyond Expedition podcast, we like to jump at the top of the topics. And, it is what it is. You
ADD, you know me.
We just like to dive into just random topics of the week and just discuss them here for us to dissect here on this virtual studio.
Stuff that impacts your life.
So, but check this. Russell Wilson said in order for him to stay in Seattle, they had to get rid of Pete Carroll and I believe the general manager of the Seahawks in order for him to stay in Seattle. Now, he came back on Twitter saying that wasn't true, that he looks at Pete Carroll as like a father figure and he loves all the Seattle staff.
Thought.
So, but the rumblings were true because he said he wanted to, in a sense, I guess he says that move was in order for them to win, and he wanted to win. He wanted to have a winning team. But realistically, let's think about this, right?
Okay.
Tom Brady, he gave up some of his salary to get the right people in the right position so he can have a solid team. If you really wanted to win, my personal opinion, you would do almost the same thing. Cut your budget or cut your salary to get the right people and your right squad and utilize that.
Yes.
But you wanted to revamp the whole thing and get rid of people. It's like at that point, I don't know, like how would you feel about that? Or how do you feel about that just in retrospect, right? Where we see Russell Wilson here, doing the good. I mean, he does good things for the community, right? He goes to the children's hospital and all that stuff. Cool. Kudos to you. Definitely. I respect that. But with him saying that you want to get rid of Pete Carroll and the general manager of the team, that's kind of like a low blow in my eyes. I don't know. That's just
and you're telling me that is without a doubt true.
That according to the sources, according from what I was reading, it's like a valid thing that he said. But if it wasn't true, why would he even respond like then and there like that so quick? Like it was like a quick response he gave out. So let's just for now say it's true.
And I'm gonna say this with a caveat because Russell Wilson, loved Russell Wilson. Still
Yeah.
love Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurt me to see how poorly he has performed in Denver.
Yeah.
And I'm
Not too
like,
good.
oh man, I was still rooting for him all the way, even though everyone else like kind of shunned him and
Yeah, yeah,
kicked
yeah,
him
yeah,
out.
yeah.
But the things I did not like about Russell Wilson was the money. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
getting paid so much money,
A lot.
and I'm like, dog, you were a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
Yes, you were a Super Bowl winner, but like what you're saying with Tom Brady gave up some of that money
Mhm.
because he wanted the rings, right? He
Exactly.
understood that you have,
There's
like top
sacrifices,
talent,
right? Yeah.
talent costs money.
Yep.
And if you're going to give a majority of that to one person, no matter if you're Michael Jordan, if you're Muhammad Ali, well, that's a one-man sport, but whatever, like you're the best of the best, you're never going to be so good that you can take on the entire team.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially just by yourself as a quarterback. Like you need a team. You need a offensive line in particular,
Right.
Just,
I mean, look at Michael Jordan, right? The top of the top, still had his Scottie Pippen, still had his Dennis Rodman.
Yep. He had a whole squad. He had a fucking whole squad on him to back him up.
The whole team. He was a good leader. Now, and Russell Wilson, I heard a lot when he was still in Seattle. There was just a lot of talk in the locker room, or at least the rumors that we heard, that a lot of people were upset with the disparity of wage.
Yeah.
And the fact that, they had no defense, he's getting tackled. Like, dude, give up some of that money, do the right thing, especially if the model has already been there with Brady.
Yeah.
If that's true, that really, really upsets me. It seems like he changed when he met Sierra. Seems
in
like
a way, yeah,
Sierra turned him into a little bit of a gold digger.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's true. Like things started to change a little bit after that. So hey, but I just found it to be really interesting. Like if that was his mindset, it's like you want to get rid of the head coach, but at the same time, it's like why not sacrifice something on your end to get the right people, or just more like
get rid of Pete Carroll, dog?
Yeah, why would you? Like I just don't get that whole concept. I don't get it.
Could you imagine Tom Brady saying, "Hey, get rid of Belichick"?
Yeah.
Get him out of here. Could you imagine Michael Jordan saying, "Hey, get rid of Coach Phil"?
Yeah.
No,
that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Would Kobe say that?
No.
Yeah,
dude.
Would Shaq say that? No.
Dude, I don't know. But yeah, he's catching a lot of heat
if that's
right
true,
now,
dude.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's like the talk of the day. I saw this I think yesterday, and I sent it to the homie Brad. Shout out Brad, and he's this big sports fanatic. He's like,
still
dude,
spot the fire.
Yeah, spot the fire.
Yeah,
and he said that's a scumbag move. Like that's definitely something. That's like a low blow to the squad. And they were like. He was just saying like it's not gonna look good on him here on out. Like it doesn't look good on him. It's like that just kind of it shames him a little bit more. So
that definitely puts him a lot lower. I mean, I've always held him at one of the top.
Yeah, he's
because of what he did.
Yeah, no, he's like I said, he's like on camera. He really does portray himself correctly and all that. Cool, but it's like it could be a different thing behind closed doors. So it's like who knows,
It's like when sponsorships start coming in for the Beyond Expectation podcast, and they're like, I really like what Brett's doing, so we're just gonna pay him like a lot of money, and then you get nothing. I mean, what's that gonna look like?
Oh, so offhand, I'll tell you that, man. See that you would be the Wilson in that character, then I would be. I don't know who I would be. I'd be B. Carroll.
Oh my!
I'd be B. Carroll.
That's rude, man. But I'm telling you, man. It's funny how money can change a person.
Dude, that's crazy, right? That I would say that's almost the example there, right? Like just money is like, I mean, could you say money is the root of all evil? I don't know. I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah. Well, the real. The love of money is the root of all people. The money is still there, right?
Yeah, true. But yeah, man, that's something kind of within the sports realm.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's kind of it kind of caught me off guard when I saw that. That is pretty crazy. Did you watch the Super Bowl by chance? Did you watch it at all? Or no.
No. I don't have cable.
Fair enough. No, I actually watched it, dude, and it's we're entering this different generation of just different players, and I feel like Mahomes was the Kansas City Chiefs, dude, phenomenal player. It's crazy. Like this dude went into that game with a messed up, I think his ankle. He messed up his ankle the game to get him to the Super Bowl against the Cleveland Browns, I believe. Is it Cleveland Browns? Oh, Cincinnati.
Are you talking about going to the Super Bowl? Before the Super Bowl?
The Bengals. It was the Bengals. The Bengals. They played the Bengals. I'm not really a sports professional. I'm sorry. Don't flame me. But it's the Vino, definitely. Blame it on that. But no, dude, that game, dude, grew an amount of respect. And it was one of those games where it was down to the wire. This dude had a messed up ankle. It's like I'm like, dude, this is done for him. This is done for him. I wanted the Kansas City Chiefs to make it all the way, but dude, to really like, how would you define a leader, especially a quarterback, to get yourself like put the team on your back and take them to the Super Bowl, the biggest game, of your career for that team, whoever makes it there. And dude, he made it happen. He got him there in the Super Bowl. Same thing. His knee. I'm like, dude, or his ankle did not look good for him. He was kind of limping. I'm like, dude, this guy, it's done for him. Like, there's no way. And that game overall, it was a shootout, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it looked for a minute that the Eagles were going to win. I know I'm kind of talking about this late in the game, but it was just like to see a game at that caliber with these young quarterbacks that are coming up, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy talent, bro.
Wow.
I was like, it was one of those games where it was really good. Like I was paying attention to the whole thing. Oh man, it really got me amped up for football in the future too. And also, did you know the XFL is back too again?
Yes, finally. No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, it's they're back with it again, and they're doing some. It's a different approach on within the game. They tweaked some stuff up, and some of the people were saying, like, I was reading kind of some just opinions of what people thought about it, and if it's even going to have like a longevity wise, if it's going to have a future. But it looks promising. I mean, the future looks promising in that it gives players maybe a second chance if somehow they prove themselves in the XFL to get back into the NFL. So it's a good and benefit of the players as well. But overall, I mean, it's another sport that people can watch and enjoy, and The Rock owns. So
kind of reminds me of like what Ice Cube did with the Big Three.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he's still doing that too as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's cool. It's back, and I remember. I think Brad said he went and saw one, and he said it was pretty cool for what it was. Obviously, It's not like a large following, but I mean, I can see it catch on. But yeah, that's back as well. And also today, as we're recording this, Jake Paul is going to fight against Tyson Fury's younger brother. But the crazy thing about that, right? You kind of look at boxing as a whole, right? Like just professional boxing in general. It's becoming this whole thing where now we're having people from YouTube, people from even like gaming sports orgs. There's this one cat that went in there and fought this other. He's a big YouTuber over in the UK. That he's in a gaming organization. It's like cross. It's coming in from different angles now to where you have different people that are content creators coming into this boxing space, but they're getting paid mad money. But here's what's causing a rift. The professional boxers aren't even getting these type of money, like this type of payout as what these content creators are getting. So it's like now you have this whole thing where some of the professional boxers are saying like it's like a circus. Like how is it that somebody that does this for a living and dedicated their whole life to actually the art of boxing gets outshunned by somebody that's a YouTuber and now they're getting paid top dollar?
It's like the internet was first discovered. And you remember when Amazon came through?
Oh yeah.
And they started just wiping out brick and mortars.
Dude, just ravished.
That's basically what this is.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Amazon boxing.
Amazon boxing. You never know. I mean, they're buying out different. I mean, dude, they got money to blow on whatever. So you never know what Amazon in general, Jeff Bezos is going to buy out next. So he's got he's got money like it's
well
on
the
his
one
own.
thing. Okay, so it's I guess if Jake Paul.
Yeah.
If he's as good as he is, that's cool, right? But here's the thing about boxing and the thing about sports, what I always loved about it is you would see these people, like you would hear these stories about kids that didn't have a chance to make it when they're growing up, and then all of a sudden sports was their calling, and then all of a sudden a coach believed in him, and you would hear that story, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh yeah, this guy from Beverly Hills, he was a big YouTuber and he came in rich, and then he just decided one day he was going to start boxing. So he did. And he had enough money to get the top trainers and got them all. And well, now he's the champion. That story
talk about
sucks.
a come up story, right? A come up story. Yeah.
What's that Tate guy's name?
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate that's in jail right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know his story, but he's another one that just kind of came up through YouTube, and I guess he was a boxer at one time.
I think he was like I want to say he was a kickboxer. I think he did actually have a legitimate come up because from what I understood, like him and his brother moved to Thailand and then like trained over there, and they just kind of climbed through the ranks a little bit, and then he just became like I don't know if it's like a 2-time or 3-time kickboxing champion, but I mean, that one I would say, just kind of looking at it briefly, that has like more of a legitimate come up.
Okay.
Aside from somebody
aside for somebody like
like like Jay Paul or the Paul brothers in general, rich, they could get the right trainers, the right dietitians, the right people to make their food. It's like it's not really much of
Yeah.
like a hoorah, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right.
it's, I get what you're saying in
You met,
that, but
you
it's
met Elon Musk at a cocktail party, and he really liked your physique. So I'd love to invest in you. All right, send me to Mars, Chief.
Dude, so he's dude, I think it's very interesting what he's doing to the Twitter space in regards to like really kind of clearing out the BS and not having like all this stuff. Like, he was saying something in regards to getting rid of all the bots that there were on Twitter, right? Like kind of like backing
Yeah,
up
they
a
said
bunch of
that
stuff.
over half of the users on Twitter were bots.
That's insane. So do they find the origin of that? Because that's what's really interesting to me, because there was this whole, again, I don't know if you want to put this under the conspiratorial side, but there was like a lot of Russian bots and a lot of Chinese bots, like people that were kind of like
guaranteed
pretending, right? Or try to put it like a narrative.
But American bots too. There were a lot of American bots, and that's the part of the story that always gets left out. You know, we always claim what our enemies are doing, but we never tell them what we did. You know, like we always leave out slavery and taking the Indians' land out of our history, you know, for the world.
We want to throw that out.
We're so quick to tell everybody we saved the world from Hitler, but we always ignore the fact that slavery existed for like 300 years and that we broke treaty, and by we, I mean our government, broke treaty after treaty with basically every single Native American tribe, indigenous tribe, and took all their land and everything away and like slaughtered them. Dude. But we saved the world from Hitler, bro.
That's gonna outshine everything that happened in the past.
Yeah,
but we did this though, so that should be good enough.
That's like the equivalent of whatever we were just talking about.
They said, the Twitter bots, Twitter bots.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, and also this is what's crazy. I feel like we speak about certain things, and then something in relative to what we were talking about comes up again. Mark Zuckerberg announced that he was going to give a premium subscription. You know how Elon was doing that whole you get a blue check under your name for $10 a month? Zuckerberg said the same thing for Facebook and Instagram now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not giving him a dime, dude.
I don't know, man, but it just seems, again, validation for what? Like, really? And people will buy into that. That's the thing. People will buy or pay that monthly subscription to just say, my name's got that blue or whatever red check mark against my name. Yep. So look up to me.
Here's when I should say it. I said I wouldn't, but here's when I would.
Okay.
Say our podcast is out, and you know, Instagram. Say we find out one day, like say we're getting lit up in our DMs, and someone is like, "Hey, you said you were going to give me $50 or $100 or whatever. Why are you?" And I'm looking at you like, "Did we say it?" What? You're like, "No, we didn't run anything." And then we find out that some cat is making up, you know, a profile with our name on it.
Okay, I see.
And then he's out scamming people. That's when you and I have a talk and like, is it time to verify?
Yeah,
we might have to verify.
Yeah, no, yeah, so true. There could be
scammers or what, but I think that is something that you should have to pay for.
Yeah,
like, you know, you don't get free credit monitoring, you know, or ID monitoring, whatever. So why would you expect this? So, but I don't think that that's anything that you have to pay for until that kind of stuff starts happening.
True.
I think a lot of people do it just because they want to make it look like they're known. Like I know a lot of the people that I was on 90 Day Fiance with, they would be all just begging Twitter for that blue check mark. And I'm just like, dude, you're on reality TV. No one's trying to scam you or pretend like they're you. Like, just stop.
Man,
just stop.
On that tip, do you if you want to answer that, do you keep any tabs with anybody from that show as of late?
Not anymore. He died.
Okay. Rest in peace to whoever, but you know,
rest in peace. You know who you are.
Jeez. Okay. Fair enough. But yes, validation. I think a lot of people definitely validation for the right reasons, like you were saying, right? To prevent scams from happening. I have seen that too, which I almost fell a victim to. If I'll share a little story. There was this podcast I listened to. It's called the Flagrant Podcast. There was this kid. He was a journalist. That he does just he talks about the stuff that's going on within the U.S. like with like maybe the war in Ukraine and all that stuff. There was an identical account as the real one, like the account that he has I almost got duped. And but the
Wow.
thing that threw it off, right? He was talking about crypto,
Uh-huh.
how I can turn 10,000 into whatever amount. And right when he said that, because I believed him up to the point, he was just like kind of like asking, "Hey, how are you doing, man? You know, I'm such and such." I'm like, "Oh, okay, man, how's it going?" And I was kind of like, starts like, "Damn, like I just watched an episode of you on the Flagrant podcast. It's like kind of coincidental. Like, why are you reaching out to us? You know, as just as a small podcast coming up." And then I'm like, wait a minute. Then he started asking about crypto, and that threw it off completely. I was like, no, this is automatically red flag. I'm not even gonna deal with it.
Wow.
But for that reason right there, like I even reached out to the real account just kind of like to see if they would even read my message like, hey, FYI, this person's trying to imitate that they're you, trying to scam out people for you know, sending money to them so they can supposedly turn this into whatever. This is what's happening, this is what's going on. But luckily they get nothing for me. But I was just like, no, I'm gonna report this account, and that's
Wow.
that. But yeah, see, for that reason right there, that is true. That is
That's
true.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
Dang,
dude,
dude.
scamming is an art out here, man. I swear. Like I said, they duped me out of however much money out of one of my credit cards. It's crazy, dude. I don't even know how they do it. It's like crazy. It's
Like that movie in the early 2000s went, you know, it's hard out here on a pimp.
what was that? Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and flow. Yeah. Wow.
Right off rip.
Man, you got it. You know, Eddie got me the Deathrow records, and if you notice, it's not the iconic Deathrow electric
With the
chair.
guy being electrocuted?
It's the dog, and this
Yeah.
is. I don't. Can you tell the story on this about how this was? How you came about this hat?
Oh, so yeah, so of course I wanted to get a gift from my boy for his birthday, and you know, he got me into Funkos, which is, you know, long story short, he's the one that started talking about Funkos and all these little figurines, and I didn't think too much of them until I started seeing these figurines that kind of, you know, I was like, oh damn, this one's cool, this one's cool, this one's cool. So I started buying a massive amount. I collected over a couple, let's just say that. So I went to the Funko store, which is here in downtown North Everett, close by where we live, and they had these hats out, and the gentleman, and I was like, oh dang, you guys have these? And he was saying there was the special edition that only in Inglewood, that you could actually purchase these only in Inglewood. And when I saw like how many they had left, they only had about like 4 or 5. I don't remember right off bat, but I got 2 because I'm like, dude, I definitely know Brett's gonna love this. So I caught myself one, I caught my boy one, and that's how it came about. But it's awesome because it's like, this doesn't look like Funko-esh at all. It's cool because it has a little like Snoop Dogg character and Deathrow. Or was it Deathrow? Yeah, dude. So
I'm gonna wear this to church tomorrow, man.
What does that say up there? Deathrow. Yeah, dude.
Man, the Snoop Dogg with the blue bandana.
That's sick, though, right? Like, who would have thought, right? Like we're in the moment where he literally is the CEO, right? Is it correct to say he's the CEO?
He is,
dude. It's crazy, right? So
yeah,
Snoop,
but I thought about that. You know, it's like, you know, with him, and I don't want to bag on him at all, but it's just like, I know he's done like he has so many business ventures he's been so successful on. But when it comes to music, I have yet to see him like take a record label to success. And I think that's not really on him. I think it's more of just how dog eat dog, pun intended, the industry is. And you know, I mean, but yeah, and plus he doesn't, if he had the whole full catalog with Dre and his Doggy Style and, you know, even Tupac in there, that would have been cool. But man, if he could have released the MC Hammer album.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's always rumor. I did hear something about that. So what's behind that? Like, I know there was like an album, right? He never released.
He made an album, and but it didn't have like any like Deathrow features, you know, the artist, and I don't know why, but anyway, he never released anything on Deathrow. And then after Tupac got shot and succumbed to the injuries, MC Hammer ended up leaving the label, and then ended up releasing the album and took some of those tracks with him on his album. But still, I wonder who his producer was. I would have loved to hear. I would pay for that.
Yeah,
you know?
I know there's a bunch of stuff that they. I follow this one page on Facebook that has to do with like all of Tupac's estate, like in regards to his unreleased music. That there's still plans to release a bunch of it, but I'm still curious to see some of that stuff too that's never been released. You know, for us to listen and whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that still it hasn't seen the light of day. You know, there's a bunch of stuff, because I know they were talking about Tupac on his end that he had like over 100 tracks that never just been fully edited, mastered, and everything like that. So I mean, who knows, man? But I think it's like I mean, is it fair to say? I mean, here's a question for you. I mean, would you still listen to it to this day? Like some of the Tupac unreleased stuff as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tupac, he was so, the stuff he was talking about just
Ahead of its
still
time.
applies to today.
Ahead of its time, dude. Super ahead of its
Yeah.
time, and it's just
Yeah.
he was definitely like
Timeless.
a full round artist, I think, and I still hold him to the title of probably the best rapper in my book. Me personally,
too.
that's just
No,
how I
me
see it.
too.
But yeah, there's definitely. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, dude. But one thing I actually wanted to talk to you about was so from Snoop Dogg, right? Because he's now running Deathrow Records. So in the time where there was the height of the East Coast, West Coast, right? I know we're jumping all over the board here,
Yeah.
but again, this is the beauty of the podcast, right?
Yes.
We just like to go everywhere. But when at the height of the beef, right? We talk about how he was kind of caught up in the middle. He was Death Row Records, homies with Shook, homies with Pac, but at the same time, he actually admitted in a bunch of interviews that his kids and Puff's kids were cool with each other. They got along really well, so they were kind of cool on their side. I think honestly, we have to kind of think about that, right? Like you're put in the middle and at the height of this beef between two coasts, the East and West. Like how could you maneuver? Like if you were in his shoes, let's just say hypothetically, how would you maneuver around that, knowing that Pac is your boy, Shook is your boy, but at the same time, Sean Puffy Combs is your boy? How would you stay like grounded to be kind of in the middle, or would you choose a side? Because to him, I think it just meant like he didn't want to be part of the beef. He was cool with Biggie. He didn't want to get himself involved with it.
Yeah.
But how would you put even he was talking about this one trip in particular from New York to California. He had to kind of sleep with a shank underneath his blanket because he just couldn't trust. Like they probably were going to stomp him out. He just felt like his life could be in danger. So I think about that stuff like, man, dude, he must have been going through it at the height of that. Because then not too long from that, he lost his homeboy Pac.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, like all this stuff.
Well,
like
faced his own murder charge.
Yeah, dude. Dude, so like what he was going through, and then I mean, fast forward to now, like he owns the record label, or I would say Death Row Records, right? Yeah. To own it now, where through the height of it all, he was going through all that, dude. It's crazy, dude.
No, I mean, you got to take into account, put everything into context, his age. I mean, he was young cat, guy. And so, when you're working with the most iconic producer on the West Coast, dude, how are you going to say no? Of course you're going to say no. But I don't think anyone knew what they were walking into when all of a sudden you step into Deathrow Records and then all of a sudden it's just like crazy.
Dude, the environment was like,
I mean, Suge Knight was super, super business savvy, but he also wasn't afraid to flex when he needed to, and he had, a bunch of people that were doing that. And I think it just got too much for Snoop. He was just like, this is crazy, and then all of a sudden, he should have been friends with Puff. He should have been friends with Biggie. I know that he was cool with him and he didn't want to get caught up in all that. So I think that he was like probably the most mature one of the group. And then, but everybody else involved made it look like, he was more of a chump than anything. And I don't think that, you look at Snoop as he's gotten older, he's just never really been like one of those people that has been all about beef.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, he's just well known around the world, dude. Like, who doesn't know Snoop Dogg? My parents know Snoop Dogg.
Isn't that crazy?
It's just crazy. Like he's known all over the world, and he's just grown into a name, like this figure, dude. So it's like he's one of the OGs that is still around here. Him and Dre, dude. I saw something that there was like a happy birthday post. Dre is 50 years old.
That's insane.
Dude, it was like not shaming on the age or whatever, but it's like a legend still here. It's like well renowned producer. It's just like that started like he was the key producer for Deathrow Records. It's like, dude, there's always been those speculations and rumors how like there was going to be like a last hoorah type tour. I'm like, bro, if that happens, we definitely need to go. Oh, we definitely need to go, bro. Regardless.
Oh my gosh, what's going on?
How would you say COVID?
Yeah. Remember the days we couldn't say that on YouTube? They'd ban us.
We're gonna have to fucking X that out right there.
We got 2 strikes for stuff that you could probably say now.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's like it's like that. Just it's in the rear view now. We're past on it. And it's just like it never happened, but it's like in reality, it did happen. We went through it, and it all started of us. It's crazy. The next room over, or just the next solitary confinement room over, we would talk about that, and we laughed about it, thinking like, oh yeah, it would be crazy. This whole thing took over the whole, the whole United States, and it happened. It's like, dude, we were in for a wild one in that.
Yeah, but back to the Death Row. I was reading a little bit on that. and the chair. So they had the Deathrow electric chair,
Yeah.
and so when Suge Knight ended up going through bankruptcy,
Okay.
so all of the Death Row stuff went up for auction, and so somebody had bought the
The
Death Row
chair?
chair. Somebody had bought it. Guess how much it went to an auction.
Okay. Let's
Guess
hear
how much it went for. Just give me
right
just a
off
wild
rip,
guess.
maybe like a cool 60, 70,000.
60, 70,000.
Yeah.
How about 2,500?
2,500?
It went for 2,500.
Dude, I'll be surprised. Like, and I bought it.
I would have if I would have known. It was in 2009 when it happened.
Oh, bro, to own a piece of history, I would want to own something like that I know I would like relate to so much in regards to like, just because it's been a thing we've always talked about like off air and on the podcast, but it's like it just holds peace to like just you know, the music we listen to, you know, the artists that we listen to a lot, you know, back in the days even till now. But it's like, you know, to own a piece of history. I remember too, didn't they auction off Tupac's chain, Deathrow chain? Like something like that.
Dude, yeah.
If I was balling out of my mind, I would want to own that.
Yeah.
Dude, that gold chain, like that with the emblem and everything, iconic, dude.
I would have bought the Beamer that got bullet holed up, and I would have probably just like put a lift kit on it and made it 4-wheel drive.
So it's like, you know, you're gonna decrease the value of this, right?
Slap some Montana plates on it, put some diesel stacks on it.
Definitely 180 that whole thing, dude. Oh god. But it's actually for sale. It was up for like, I swear, no, it was up for like, I want to say I remember like 10 or 11 mil. Dude,
That's too much.
Yeah. But they restored it and everything, so the bullet holes were gone. So yeah, they're like, yeah, we need to get rid of this. This was somebody that someone got just axed up, and we're just gonna completely fix it up. But
thanks, Orlando Anderson.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was actually up for auction. I think it was up for sale. So I saw it in the episode of Pawn Stars. That's right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was on there.
Wow,
yeah, dude.
Well, at least they got the holes out of it.
They repaired it. Rest in peace, Pac.
Yeah,
Rest
crazy.
in peace,
Yeah,
Pac.
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, my friend. I mean, hey, what's the thing that money can't buy besides happiness, right?
Love.
Or love too. Yeah, you put that in there.
I don't know about that one.
It's the wine talking, man.
Time.
What
time.
You say? I said happiness.
Happiness.
Oh, temporarily, right? I mean, in theory, you temporarily happiness, but true long happiness.
You throw $1 million right in front of me, my endorphins are through the roof. So dopamine, you know, I'm getting all the happiness.
What was that guy that he was was it a millionaire? He like he offed himself. It was a recent one. He was a really rich gentleman.
Which one? The one in New York?
I think it was New York, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Damn, that's crazy, dude. But that's the thing, right? Like they always say about these dudes, like there was Anthony Bourdain, there was that dude that we're talking about right now. Like these people that have everything, and it's like for some reason they hit this brick wall that it's just like, you know, they just had enough of it and that's it. They're done. You know, it's like, man, for whatever reason, right? Like, I mean, we never know what demons people are facing themselves in their own ways, but it's like, you know, to really be well financially off, it's like you just never know what they're really going through that makes them get to that tipping point. And it's like, and that's why I say, like, you know, money can't buy happiness. Like temporarily, yes, but for long term, probably not.
Well, you know Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, let's hear it, baby.
Well, you know, he had his own island. You know?
He had everything.
Balling out of control. Had binders on all these top elite people. Had cameras on everything, and then all of a sudden, just I don't know.
Nothing. Yeah,
he killed himself.
Yeah,
the official version. And next thing you know, all those binders are gone,
vanished. And also to this day, we just haven't heard nothing of it. That's the craziest thing of all. What's up with homegirl though, Ghislaine?
Oh, Ghislaine Maxwell.
What's up with her? Nothing.
I don't know.
That's what's crazy, dude. It's like this stuff's just been swooped under the rug. It's just like we're gonna sidetrack all the people for something else, like with all these UAPs flying around or whatever, this balloon, and it's like, but with this, we're gonna keep it in the tuck just because.
Well, that was the weirdest thing with suddenly in one weekend, 3 UAPs. You know, and it was just like, yeah, we were riding on the coattails of the Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah.
But what else was going on at that weekend? You know, normally when you get weird news like that, and when the government and MSM collaborate and team up and then shove this news down your throat, it's like, what? You know, you threw all the smoke, right? The smoke screen. What is going on before the smoke screen?
I don't know.
I don't
Good
know,
question.
man.
It's like always they try to throw the scent off, right? With something else. Like we're gonna throw something else in the mix just to get people kind of misdirected and focus on this instead of this original thing we're looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's
right.
crazy. It's crazy. But hey, that's why they have us. So we can bring it up again. And then we
Yeah.
can keep it going so that way people won't forget. Hey,
Maybe
what's up with
maybe
this?
minus the vino. I know the vino definitely impacted my.
You're definitely killing it. I stole one cup in because I mean your boy's got to drive home. You make it home to
Right,
home base, but
right.
yeah, you're knocking it down pretty good, man.
Well, you know, I just know that, like, I mean, I'll put the cork. I wanted you to go home with the cork, but I'll have to give you the cork. There's no. I mean, I could finish the bottle if I really tried, but I don't want to throw up.
I don't want to black out. It's more like just poof,
I
like,
don't want to wake up drunk.
yeah, definitely no. Is this how much a percentage alcohol is this compared to like a beer by chance? Just out of
it's,
curiosity.
It should tell us.
The bottle's
right?
really cool, man. I gotta say,
beer
these
is normally
bottles are
around
really well made.
5%, and oh yeah, we're at 14.5.
Not bad.
So 3 times a beer.
3 times a beer. Okay, not bad. I mean, don't they say like one glass of wine is good for your heart? Is that true, or didn't it say they kind of back that?
Not as much wine as I've been drinking.
Not as much liquor as I've been
That's what they
drinking.
say, though. They say, yeah, the red wine is
wine?
good for your heart. Yeah, not the white wine.
Okay. So why do they say again? I'm not really much of a wine drinker, and I think you probably answered this question, but I'm gonna ask it because I'm a forgiving person. Why do they always say that it's always good to have this with like a good steak? Like, is it something with like the combination with the wine and the meat?
No, it's just it pairs together. So you get the red wine with the red steak, and then you'll do like a white wine with like a white meat or fish. Chicken or fish.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, so you got to pair the wines with the with the food.
Okay.
White wine with pasta. But yeah, red wine with your lamb or your beef.
Man, you've had a fair share of high meals, my friend, more than me. I just slam down whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Give me a Zima.
Right. I'll have that Coors Light right there.
Zima.
That Budweiser. I'll have that.
Budweiser. Can I get a Pabst Blue Ribbon with my mod pizza, please?
Oh, dude, mod pizza.
Real story. That's been a real combination in my life.
True
Pabst
story.
Blue Ribbon in my lap, tune spinning.
That sounds familiar. What song is that? That sounds familiar.
It's one of the rhymes that I sent you before. That's mine. That's definitely an embassy rhyme.
Off top, baby. Off top. I was actually recounting that story. Actually, I definitely want to give a shout out to the homie Eli. It was his birthday. I think his birthday is so this is the 25th, right? So 26th February. It's his birthday on the 26th. So happy birthday to you, my boy.
Shout
but
out,
I was telling him about how you were trying to come up as a rapper and you opened up for some Rick's Law. He was like, "No way, dude! Really? Yeah, dude. That's a little backstory on the White Rhino himself." And because I was telling him we were going to do an episode today,
yeah, and
he was just pretty mind blown about that. I mean, like, yeah, just something from the tug I wanted to share with you. Don't get too crazy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he listens to the podcast religiously, so he's definitely a fan. He says he enjoys the content.
I've had a crazy life, man. Opened for Sir Mix-a-Lot, did the rap thing for a while, and then ended up on TV where, like, even to this day, people are like, "Hey, were you on that show?"
Till this day, like, still
to this day,
like as of recent, like who have you had that come up to you?
Like say, 3 times last week,
really,
or this week, 3 times.
So was this around the work environment or
yes.
out of work?
No, not out of work, but at work.
Really,
3 people approached me, and I felt really bad for one guy because one guy was like, he was like, "Hey, are you on that show?" And I'm like, I was not in the mood.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, me and my wife watched you." I'm like, "That's cool. I didn't want to do it." and I feel like I really just shut him down. I was like one of those pompous people that, like when they meet like people that and they're like, "Oh, that guy's such a jerk," I was that guy for that guy.
He probably wanted to stir up a good conversation.
I think
talk
so,
about it,
and I just shut him down because I just wasn't having it. I'm just like, I'm dealing with so much pressure lately. I'm just I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to explain myself.
No, man,
for better or worse.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even me, like, I guess to share a little backstory, when you told me that, I had to do my own due diligence to actually go look it up and see if it was true. I thought you were joking.
Is he lying to me?
I don't know. I was like, I think this guy's joking me. And then sure enough, I went on YouTube and looked up my boy Brett, I need a fiance. Boom, showed up. Like, dude, crazy.
I wish that the same thing could have done with the Sir Mix-a-Lot thing. There was like one of my friends recorded my performance.
Yeah.
And then I tried to reach out to him. I'm like, "Hey, can I get that videotape?" "Oh yeah, I'll get it to you." I never got that videotape.
So it's still out there.
maybe it got recorded
Dude.
over. I don't know, but I had there's literally no documentation whatsoever on my opening for Sir Mix-a-Lot, other than the people that were closest to me at that time. They were all there, but I have nothing, no photographic or video evidence of that.
So recount the story just for people to know, because I know we've talked about this. This was, I would say, a year ago to 2 years ago. Your the situation where you handed your demo to Sir Mix-a-Lot, how that went down. You're like, he just grabbed it, just walked off.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, because I'm just a poor white guy living in my single wide trailer in Montana, and I'm just thinking, sweet dude, I'm gonna go the Eminem route. I'm Sir Mix-a-Lot is gonna be my Dr. Dre, and no. My CD that I had at the time, I meant to give it to him, but he was like, nah, I'm not gonna take it. He just told me straight up, not gonna take it. So I'm like, can you guys sign it? So him and his crew signed it, and that was the best I got. So I guess I do have that evidence.
Oh, you do
have that CD somewhere with all of Sir Mix-a-Lot and then the people he performed with.
Yeah.
On his set. I got all their autographs. So I don't know any of them.
So it's the truth. See, true tale.
But yeah, so he wasn't having any part of Amacy. Nothing.
Say, wait till I blow up and I become just one of the best podcasts in the world. Be like, look who's laughing now.
Yeah, wait till I'm 45 and rapping with my first platinum album.
Oh, dude, yes.
I ain't gonna stop.
I want you to wear the hat too that he always used to wear, the one that is like a fedora, but I want you to wear it too.
Who? Oh, Mix-a-Lot?
Yes. Does he wear a fedora?
Dude, you know what? If I did, I would totally I would do a Baby Got Back, but I'd have to diss him in some sort of way,
Yes.
I would. I'd be like, yo, my posse's on Broadway. We'll just tear that one up. Do something.
A posse's on Broadway, definitely a remix of that. But in your own way.
Yeah. I could do Posse on Broadway remix. AMC remix.
So it's sad. We'll be on Deathrow tip. Oh, dude. But yeah, brother. I mean, other than that, man, I don't know. We went everywhere today. I think
we did go everywhere.
Hey, it sounds like this is scripted. I swear. And some people say, you know what's crazy? So I think my wife's like, so how do you guys write down what you guys do? I'm like, we really don't. Sometimes we just freestyle
off the dome.
It's literally off the dome, and it's what makes it kind of it almost makes me feel proud of just the stuff that we've done, because some of the stuff that people I run into these videos on how to the how-tos, like how to start a podcast, right? That's kind of the most common one. You go on YouTube and try to look up to see if you want to get into this type of space. But it's one of the things they always talk about, like how do you prepare stuff for you to talk about when you're recording? And it's like they go into depth on how to come up with all these topics or whatever, or just stuff to talk about. But in my head, I'm like, man, me and Brett, it just happens really organically. And
right.
And one of the things that it's always cool when we have guests and they just kind of give their feedback on us, right? Because we enjoyed feedback just to help us grow and just to help us kind of elevate ourselves to just be better than the versions we are as of now, because we always want to go up and not go down, right? And one of the homies, Samir, shout out to Samir, he said, hey, what you guys have is really cool. It's organic, the chemistry between me and you is awesome. And it's like it makes me feel good, because it's like you go back to the days to think that what would have turned into that to go into this. It's just been one hell of a journey. But even me, right, the task that I have at hand here, I never would have thought I would have had the opportunity to be in this space, because I was supposed to be a person behind the camera. I wasn't even supposed to be in front as you see me, because I'm not really much of a camera person. I mean, I think maybe that's why I wear the shades and it makes me feel safe. It's like my safe and comfort zone, right? But no, it's like I was supposed to be the man behind the camera. And but here I am, and I got comfortable with it, and it's actually I think it's helped me get a little bit better to be more, I guess, not be socially awkward, if that makes sense, but just more be of a person just to really have I guess brief conversations with people, even at work and all that.
It takes time. If there's anyone out there that's kind of hung up on wanting to start a podcast, they know they want to, but they don't know what steps to take. My recommendation is what I had before. I had a podcast called the K1 Experience. Yes. And it was really good, because I was I knew that I was super nervous. That nervousness is always going to be a part of the game.
Mhm.
And so until you work through that, it's just you can't get away from that.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is start on like a practice project. Start with something that you know is not going to be your lifelong podcast or whatever. Start with something that interests you or whatever, but you know that someday, even if your content stays the same, you can change the name, because then you can re-identify, rebrand yourself. But like, start with something else, get all of that nerves, work all the nerves out of you,
Yeah.
to where you're comfortable doing this stuff. You're comfortable knowing that people all over the world could potentially see your podcast, and then just get ready for that. But it's something that is not natural.
Yeah.
Not natural.
Oh, it takes time, man. It takes time to do.
And then, and if you're doing it solo, that's one way. But then when you're doing it with somebody, make sure you're doing it with somebody that, like, you're a true friend with, you have a real connection with. Because if you do it with people that, like, oh, he wants to do a podcast, I want to do a podcast, but there's no chemistry or whatever,
That's
it's not going to work. And that's, I think, the hardest part, right?
Yeah.
And but and then the other thing is just figuring out, like, because it's not easy at first. Right now we're in a rhythm. We kind of know where, your role, I know my role, and we just kick in and we do it. But in the beginning, it was like, hey, how do you want to do this? How do you want to do this? And there's a lot of stress, and there's a lot of like, oh, am I going to let the other guy down or whatever?
Yeah.
It's just, there's growing pains with it. There's a learning curve. But if you really like it, you're going to do it, and just keep going, keep pushing, and stay consistent. That's the other thing. We do it every week, and regardless, and sometimes we've taken time off. Hey, I'm going to be in San Antonio. Hey, I'm going to be with the family. Hey, I've got this, I've got that. Okay, cool. And whatever, if you got to do a solo in between or whatever, but do whatever you can to stay as consistent as you can.
Definitely. No, you said it perfectly, man. I think just to add to that, stay consistent, talk about stuff that interests you, what you feel comfortable talking about. And it's going to be trial and error, like trying to figure out your rhythm, trying to figure out your roles, especially if you're doing it solo, just try to take it a day at a time and just come up with a plan, a basic plan. Don't put too much on into it, but just kind of go in there with an open mind of stuff to talk about, and just, build your audience off that. But definitely stay consistent. Don't be knocked off by if people are listening or not. They will come to you if they find interest in whatever it is that you talk about in your podcast, or whatever type of podcast you put up. I mean, people will come to it. So that's pretty much the best advice we can give you from, Beyond Expectation to you guys, because we're on our own journey. We're still trying to figure this out as well as we go. But we definitely want to share some game too with people that are up and coming, because I think it's good to have competition, but it's also good to have a variety of podcasts out there, because I think it's a new wave. It's been a wave. So, and it's always good for people that are coming into the mix, because like I said, it pushes everybody, because now it's like, well, this person's coming up, motivates us to keep even further. So it's always good to, for that to exist within that. So yeah, it's survival of the fittest, but it's good competition. I'll say that. So, and it's always cool to come across different other podcasts, because we can learn from one another as well. So it's definitely really good to have. But yeah, man, it's so far so good. And I mean, dude, we're on our journey. We're on a good journey.
If there was like one person that could have put out a podcast that I wish would have done it, but the technology hadn't met his time yet, was Theodore Krasinski.
Don't know what that is.
The Unabomber.
Oh,
he put out a manifesto.
Okay.
And he basically predicted the future.
Really?
And I just wish that I'm joking with you people right now, in case you don't know.
I saw you making it sound so like,
I know. I was like, I better say something now, because people like I'm gonna come off as genuine.
Oh, dude, yeah. The alphabets are gonna come after you, bro.
But on a real level, I was just talking to somebody about that. Is like, he put out this manifesto, and his manifesto was so good. Just talking about like the fear of technology. It's where if somebody was talking about like Elon Musk talks about AI and all this stuff, right? He's like warning us. If Theodore Kaczynski, instead of just going psychotic and killing people with his bombs, if he could have just like redirected that energy and into a podcast, and talk to people about this, he could have gone so much further and reached so many more people. And because he was a brilliant man.
Yeah.
but instead he just, I don't know what happened to him, but he decided that he was gonna go the violent route, which the violent route never works.
Yeah.
Never works.
Yeah.
At least maybe, maybe it looks like it works temporarily, but it never works long term.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I was just mostly telling a joke.
Yeah.
But
I see what you're saying, though. I know where you're coming from, right? Like just the pure fact that you said he predicted the future in regards to technology. That was the interesting part.
that
right?
would have been an
Yeah.
interesting thing, hearing him talk about, if he would have stayed in academics and done all of his thing instead of just going just crazy and harming people.
Yeah.
That was tragic, man.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he
crazy.
just really did, like, if you read his manifesto, he really had some like eerily prophetic things in there that came to life about technology. I wish I could cite some things, right? I haven't read it in a while. It's in the other room, but kidding. It's not.
I believe him. That's
The alphabet agencies are like, yeah, all right, we got another
keep
one
talking,
on him.
Keep talking.
Yeah, keep going, buddy.
But we're going with
They're
that,
gonna
right?
send me another bottle of vino.
but going along with what you're saying, though, there is a video that I did see about these younger kids that were being interviewed. I want to say this was like in the 50s or no. This was around like the 60s or 70s. And all these kids were talking about the same thing. And that one thing they were talking about was technology, how people are going to be more focused on technology, how technology was going to be like the biggest thing that just as a society that it's going to be a good and bad thing, but more for the bad reasons. Yeah. Like, what the hell? No, this was like a legitimate, like, what the hell? Like, this was back in the days talking about that. It's like, how would they come up with that type of conclusion? Like, what would that even be, like an idea or a thought or a prediction to begin with? You know what I'm saying?
You have to have high IQ to be able to put that
know.
together.
Hey, they were right though.
You're right. No, when we're done filming here, I'm gonna find something and I'm gonna send you a recording of this guy. This guy was in the 60s as well, and he was talking about how these robots are going to take over. It's basically gonna make it convenient for us, but eventually what this guy is from the 60s is saying is that eventually technology is going to get so great that there's literally no need for humans. And he was saying that in the 60s, and here we are in the 2020s, and we're just now grappling with that reality. And we're seeing industries go. Have you been to McDonald's and tried to order a Big Mac lately?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, they have their self-service. Yep, straight up. I mean, it's happening slowly. Like, that's the thing, they're slowly trying to roll it out, like with ChatGPT. Like, it's becoming like they're putting it out there, it's being used, and this all autonomous stuff, like it's happening around us, but it's just going to get to the point where they're really going to make this stuff where they're going to make maybe like an actual human cyborg or something, like implemented with AI. Until we cross that threshold, it's like it's going to be like eye-opening at that point, but then it's going to become of a norm. That's
what they're saying is, like, this guy, what he's saying, I told you a few years ago when we were working together, when we first met, that what would be cool is if you could take like a USB drive and plug it into somebody, like a student, into their head, and say, okay, now you know everything that there is to know about being a doctor, about being a lawyer, about being a cop, or all these things. You could just have a USB drive with all of that information that just naturally programs into your brain. Well, this recording, if I can find it and send it to you, that's exactly what this guy was saying in the 60s, is that eventually that the technology will merge with our brains to where it can plug into you, and you'll instantly know how to be a doctor with no training, no education, no college, nothing, just programming.
Insane. Hey, again, listen to this podcast to stay most updated with AI taking over humanity
beyond expectation.
definitely, man. But with that being said, brother, I mean, do we want to
both of our glasses are empty. Wow. You're about to hit the road.
Not under the influence. Definitely not.
No, over the influence.
No, definitely. We always take responsibility here. Right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yes.
But with that being said, we're close this one out. Again, for everybody that if they've seen this for the first time or experienced this podcast for the first time, go check us out at Beyond Expedition Podcast on Instagram. You'll be updated with the latest and greatest in regards to the podcast, in regards to clips, announcements, announcements, posts for upcoming episodes, you name it, you'll find us there. We'll have a direct link in our bio that'll take you everywhere where we're available: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn from Radio, all that jazz. YouTube for all the video heads that love to watch our video content. We're there too. But we're signing out. Take care. We'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Have an awesome Friday, awesome weekend. We love you. Stay safe. Until next time.